Good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, blessed Sunday, because Grammie is. It's a wonderful day here in Northeast Arkansas. It's a little warm. Grammie's had to turn on the air conditioner, and it is feeling good in this house, let me tell you. And I've got a wonderful recipe to share with you guys today. It's going to be delicious. I've never made it before. My grandmother's made it before, a long time ago, a different variation of it. But we're going to try something new, and it's going to be delicious. But before we get started, I just wanted to share something with you guys. A few weeks ago, I went and I made a P.O. box, and with hopes that if somebody didn't want to send me an email or message me, that they would maybe send me a card with prayer requests and different things like that. But I have been blessed because I have received a few things, and when I go to that mailbox and there's something in there, it just excites me. So I'm not going to read my cards because they have some personal things in there, but I want to share with you. I received this. I'll make sure that I blot out the address because I turned it around. But it was a Mother's Day card, and it says, and I can read this part of the card, it says, "Thanking God for you, for your warm smiles, your heart for others, your thoughtfulness, and the many ways you reflect God's love and care." And this is from my friend, Miss LaVon. And Miss LaVon is just precious to me. We got to know each other over New Year's Eve. She was my only person that was left that had not went through New Year's. And so a group of us, my wonderful sub-family and myself, stayed up and to 1 o'clock so that Miss LaVon wouldn't be alone. Because there's a lot of people in this world that are alone. And so that's why I decided to start this, was for some encouragement, to help those who are lonely, and just uplift whatever needs to be done. That's what I want to do. I want God to use my hands, my mouth, my feet, my elbows, my ears, whatever He wants to use. But isn't that a beautiful card? It's beautiful, and that is my favorite color. I love that color blue. I'd have my whole house that color blue. Just love it, love it, love it. Ain't that wonderful? And then my husband, he went and checked my mailbox because we haven't had a P.O. box for some time. And he loves checking a P.O. box. So he comes in the library on his 6 days off, and he's carrying a package. And I'm going to turn it this way because I don't want you guys to, I don't want to reveal the address to my person. And brought me a package. Of course, I couldn't wait to open it. I was like, oh my goodness, somebody has sent me something. I am such a blessed woman. And of course, it came with a lovely card with beautiful things, beautiful sayings in it, and just wonderful, wonderful. Just basically telling me how much she loves me and how much I love her. And she made me something wonderful. And I want to tell you something. I don't know, you guys saw Miss Lori have these. I have one now. She made me this beautiful towel that goes around your neck. And I seen when Miss Lori had these, she had like several different kinds. And this one says faith and grace and thanks. And it has crosses on it. And this is the cute part. It has little dish towels on the end. And so when you're working, you can grab stuff. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but I always have a dishcloth on my shoulder. I love this. This is like something that's just wonderful. It's going to be hard for me to use it. Like, I've got all of these beautiful dish towels that were made by my wonderful friend Tammy Jo. I have yet to let them go in the kitchen. I just hate to mess them up. They're so beautiful. And somebody painstakingly made these with their hands just like this. This was handmade for me. So, and I just so appreciate it. And it says, "Don't go baking my heart." Isn't that precious? I just love this, and I just appreciate it so much. And this was from my friend, Miss Mary. Miss Mary, thank you. Thank you. One of these days, I'm going to get back to Williamstown, Kentucky, and you're going to play that piano, and I'm going to sing, and we're going to have us a good time in the Lord. Well, anyway, we are going to do something wonderful in this kitchen today. I'm going to have to turn off this camera for a minute and get you guys over there, and we're going to go cook something, and it's going to be delicious. And it ain't low calorie, and it ain't low carb. It's just some good comfort Sunday cooking. I'll be right back. Back in the kitchen. We're back over here in the kitchen. We was in the dining room a while ago. We're going to travel around the house and come in the kitchen, and we're going to make something good, y'all. So what we're doing is, normally this would be a dish that my grandmother would make the next day after she had meatloaf. She would do kind of like a Meatloaf Sheppard pie. But I haven't been cooking a lot of heavy meals, but I've just been craving it. And so I kind of cooked all the things that's going to go in it. And we're going to put it together and we're going to bake it. And it's going to be good. So let me show you guys what we got. Let me turn you guys down here. Here's my bowl. This bowl, I have 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of ground turkey. And I'm kind of trying to cut the red meat out of our diet some. And then I have a white onion that's been diced up. And I like a lot of onion in mine. If you don't like this much onion, you can cut it down. This is about 1.5 cups of onion diced. I love onion. Okay, in this I have 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and a teaspoon of seasoning salt. And that's my seasonings going in there. I have about a teaspoon of pepper, and then I have about a tablespoon of, this is steak seasoning sauce. And that just gives you a little something down in there. And of course, it wouldn't be meatloaf if we didn't have some kind of breadcrumb or cracker or something like that. So I had a little partial sleeve of crackers in the refrigerator, and they're a whole wheat saltine. And I'm going to put those in there. I just kind of, and that's a cup. And I'm going to try to put the ingredients on here for you. Like I said, a lot of the things that I cook are just things that I get in the kitchen and just make. But this is something that my grandma made. So I'm sorry y'all, but the only way to make meatloaf is you got to get in there with your hands. You just got to get in there. You got to do it. My hands are clean. I probably washed my hands about 5,000 times while I was preparing all of this, because I put the meat in here and then I had to go wash my hands. I cut the onion, I went and washed my hands. Cut up some carrots, I had to go wash my hands. So washing your hands and washing your hands is what keeps your family safe and healthy. And you don't learn how to work in the kitchen when you have an OCD mother like I did. I still do. She's still alive, God bless her. But we wash our hands a lot as a child. And at times it would drive me crazy. And I thought, if I ever get out of this place, I'm never washing my hands again. But I've learned in life that, you know how when you're a kid, you don't want to do the things that your parents tell you. But I'm just going to tell you, it taught me a lot. I maybe don't wash my hands as much as we had to as kids because, you know, like I said, my mama had OCD. God, she still has OCD, but God love her. She's a good mama. I wouldn't have her any other way. Okay, I believe we've got that meatloaf looking good. Guess where I'm going? I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to use Miss Mary's cloth, but I just can't bring myself to use it. It's brand new. She just gave it to me, and I'm working with something really messy today. I would be so sad if I made it messy, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it for when I bake. I think that'll be a good thing. So, I've got me my casserole dish over here. I'm going to put you guys up so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm working with this casserole dish right here. I'm going to spray it with some extra virgin olive oil spray because I don't want it to stick. Alrighty. Put that over there. And then what we're going to do is, I got to get my hands dirty again. We're going to go back in here for about half of the meat. We're going to spread it down. And this meat is going to become a crust and a topping for what we're going to put in here. A little bit more meat. You want a good base. But you want to kind of keep it thin because you want it to cook. And my grandmother would have meatloaf and she would just sprinkle it. And it wouldn't take as long to cook. This is going to take a little longer to bake. And so we're going to go around and we're going to kind of push some up on the sides. Like I said, I haven't never made this, so I'm kind of just trying to remember how she did it, but having to do it with raw meat because, like I said, we it was always a leftover shepherd pie meatloaf. And so we're kind of going to push that meat up on the side, get us a good, like a crust, like a meat crust. I got it, it's kind of thick on this side so I can kind of pull it up, push it all the way around. And putting that turkey in there is going to kind of cut down some of the greasiness that would come from the hamburger meat. The first thing we're going to add is we got some peas and carrots. And we're going to add some peas and carrots to this. Next, we're going to add our mashed potatoes. And I just used an instant mashed potato. And this one is a extra butter. That's why it's so beautiful and yellow. It's got that extra butter in there. And you don't have to have a whole lot of it. You just got to make sure that you can spread it around and get a good layer in there. And who don't mind some peas being in their mashed potatoes? Now, the people who don't like their food touching probably won't like this casserole. I had a step-grandfather. He didn't like his food touching. I think it came from years of being in the military. He did not like it. And we've got some good old macaroni and cheese here. And we may not use all of the macaroni and cheese, but we're going to give it a good try. We're going to spread it out around. And I've added, this is just Velveeta shells and cheese, but I've added extra cheese in it. I always put extra cheese in it. We didn't use all of that. So now, we're back to the meat. We're going to put the meat on here. Now, when you're cooking this, you're going to have to make sure that you have this all the way cooked inside, because you do not want to. It's going to go in the oven for about 45 minutes. Okay, my oven is preheated to 375 degrees. We're going to go in here, and this should bake for about 45 minutes. It's going to need to make sure that everything is cooked in there. And I'm going to pull it out of my thing, and I'm going to go put it in the oven. Let me get this mess cleaned up, and we're going to come back, and we're going to make some angel biscuits. I'll be right back. Okay, family, we have our casserole in the oven, and we're going to make some yeast biscuits. A lot of people call them angel biscuits, but I don't make them just like everyone else does. Mine's just a little bit different. So, and I think it's because we all need our own way of doing things. So let me get in here to my flour. Let me put you guys down. Now, in my measuring cup, I have 1 cup of warm water and 1 packet of quick yeast. And to that, I added a tablespoon of honey, because I want to use honey instead of sugar to sweeten. To me, it just tastes so delicious when it's got honey. So we're going to turn you around and let you see the bowl. And what I'm going to do is I want to sift my flour in here. And we're going to do about 2 cups. And that's 1. There's 2. And let's sift them in there. That way we get a good airy yeast biscuit. And I am going to add about, whoa, explosion, about 1 tablespoon of the Clabber Girl baking powder. We don't really need it to rise because we're going to do the yeast, but I just like it in there. Kind of gives you everything that you need. And I like to sift it in there while I am making the biscuits. So we're going to set this over here. And of course, Grammie can't let that flour sit there without cleaning it. So we're going to clean that up. Let y'all dance a little bit. Alright, we got this in here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add some butter to it. This. And it's going to be good. It's going to taste good, y'all. We're going to do about a half a stick of butter. Or margarine, whatever you got. We're going to do about a half a stick in there. Usually I do it frozen where it's a little bit easier to work with. That's about a half a stick there. Don't waste any on the back. Can't waste it. It's delicious. You got to get it in there. I ain't going to say it's nutritious, but it's definitely delicious. Okay, and my yeast has been sitting over here for about 5 minutes. It's good and frothy. My husband, when he's off work, he puts the dishes up for me, and I can't always find all my stuff. So we're going to add this in here. Make sure you get that all out of there. And we're going to start working this until it has made us a good dough ball. Now you can change that warm water that I put in there for warm milk. That's totally up to you. But I'm just making this simple. So that was 1 cup of warm water, 1 tablespoon of honey, and 1 pack of quick yeast, a tablespoon of the Clabber Girls, and 2 cups of flour. And you can use all-purpose or self-rising. You don't have to add the Clabber Girls if you use self-rising, but mine was all-purpose. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take and cover this up with a clean towel. And my oven's on. So I'm going to sit it on the back of my oven for about an hour until it rises back. We're going to make some biscuits, some yeast biscuits that go in that oven. And our casserole is going to be ready to put some ketchup on top of it. My husband's going to be so happy when he comes home tonight. I'm going to get married again. He always says he's going to marry me when I cook a good meal. So I'm just going to tell you I'm fixing to get married again. I'll be right back. And you can see it's starting to get brown. It's starting to look good. This time you could put cheddar cheese on the top of this. You could put another layer of mashed potatoes on top of it if you wanted to. We're going to put ketchup on top of that peeking out because I don't want to over ketchup it. I'm not that. I would like to have cheese on there. But like I said, Grammie ain't making this for her. She's making it for her hard-working husband who's working on a Sunday. It's going to go back in there for another 20 to 25 minutes, possibly even 30 to make sure we got that meat all the way done. Okay, y'all. That was half the cooking time. We was doing 45, so that was about 20 to 22 minutes. We took it out. We drained grease, and you can see it didn't make that much. That's why I used half turkey. And turkey's just much better for you. I am trying to eat better. This don't look like I'm trying to eat better, but I am. I do good Monday through Friday, but Saturday and Sunday when I'm at home, and my girlfriend fridge is right there, and she keep talking. She talk all day long. Girl, there's cheese and crackers in here. Girl, you got chocolates in your drawer. Girl, there's macaroni and cheese in here. There's cornbread and beans. She talks all day long. If I get her to shut up on Saturday and Sunday, I'll be doing better. I try to spend the day out doing working in the garden and staying with my chickens. That's kind of helping me. Spending some time with my little girl, that helps too, and my grandchildren. Anyway, we'll be back when this is all done. And I'm going to show you how I roll out these biscuits and put them in the oven after they roast for an hour. I'll be right back. We're back. Our casserole, our meatloaf casserole, or shepherd's pie, meatloaf shepherd's pie, whatever you want to call it, is cooling and is on the stove. And I've been folding towels. I had some lint on me. When the camera's off, Grammie's doing chores. Us working women, even if you're a stay-at-home mom or wife, or you're working, but we always got something that we've got to do. So when I say us working women, I mean all of us women, because we all working. We working for something. What was that old song? Working for I can't think of it. It was a brother and sister song. I used to sing it. Anyway, our biscuits are ready. Our yeast biscuits are ready for rolling out. And to save me a little bit of mess, I'm going to give me a little parchment paper and roll them out on that. Most times I just do them straight on my counter because my counter is always clean. I go through and clean it with some cleaner. So we're going to put this down. I'm going to turn you guys down so you can see what I'm doing. Because I'm doing this for you guys. I want to be with you guys when I do this. So let's get you down. I just got me a little bit of flour. Put it out there. And I'm gonna flour my hands. And it should pull away from the bowl pretty good, and it is. We got a little bit that's sticking in there, but we'll get it out. We'll get it out. We'll get it in there. There we go. Now I'm going to do these in a muffin pan. You can roll these out like biscuits. There's a little bit that we got off of that flour. Just get in there and get that and pull it out. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I'm going to remove some of that flour because I don't want to get too much flour in here. I don't want to lose my fluffiness. I'm just going to kind of work these a little bit now. Kind of get that elasticity going in them. If I can get my tongue to move. Sometimes when you're southern, your tongue just does not want to wrap around words. And I don't know why that's like that. Okay, so I think that's good to go. So I'm going to spray this pan with some good butter spray. And I'm going to spray it generously. I do not want these babies to stick. I want them to pop out. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wash my hands. And I'm going to get this. And I'm going to cut this dough right down the middle. Let's get a little flour on that. Okay. Then we're going to pull it over here. And we're going to cut it in half again. Make sure you keep that little flour on that. Cut it in half again. Cut it in half again. Cut it in half again. We're going to do it till we got 12 pieces, okay? This one. Let's put him in there. He's going to be nice. And we're going to let them rise again before we put them in the oven. They don't have to be pretty. That's why they're biscuits. We're going to let them rise for maybe another 15 minutes. I'm going to cover them up, set them on the back of my stove. Then we're going to come back and we're going to pop these in. Okay, family, it's time to put these babies in the oven. They're going to go in there for about anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 minutes depending on your oven. They go quick if you have a really hot oven. My oven's pretty hot. So I'm going to turn you guys down so you can see me. You'll see they've kind of rose up in there. And I'm going to go on the top because I'm trying to control that heat some. Because like I said, for some reason my oven is really, really hot. And if you look over there, you'll see that Meatloaf Sheppard pie. And it is going to be good. But we're going to let it cool down. It's been out of the oven for a little while. But it's still pretty hot. So when our rolls are done, we'll come back. We're going to taste the stuff and we're going to look at our rolls. They're going to be so good. Y'all hang around. It's going to be delicious. my dinner's done. I'm going to take this towel and I'm going to cover up these rolls and put them on the back of the stove. Because it'll be just a little while, maybe an hour or so before my husband still comes home. I want y'all to look at that little, people call these angel biscuits. I just call them a yeast biscuit. Look how beautiful and crispy and brown that is. Let me get up very close to you. It's going to be all loose in there. But now I should be able to take my, I have to get it with a spoon, I think. See if I can balance it long enough to get it on. Oh my goodness. I gotta get me some more of that. Let me show y'all what that looks like. Can you see the layers in there? The macaroni and cheese. I got that little, there's layers in there of macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes. And it's been sitting for a while, but it's still hotter than a firecracker. So I'm going to try a little bit of this. Let's try a little bit. Let's get a little bit of that meat. Oh my gosh. That is some good stuff. Mmm. Ooh, that's good. I'm gonna, you guys can see that, we're gonna pull apart. Little honey butter. Look at that steam coming off there. It's a yeast biscuit and it's good. Now if you like yours a little more sweeter, you may want to add, instead of that honey in there, you may want to add some sugar when you're cooking it. But that's good. And that's what we having for supper tonight, y'all. My husband gonna come home. He gonna fall in love with me all over again. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. And if I haven't told you this video that I love you, I adore you, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you in life. Every day my life is enriched by my messages, my chats, and my comments. And I just love you guys. And I appreciate you following along and spending time with me today. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Until next time, I'm Grammie Nae Nae.